Hello, welcome to our meetup recording for this month. My name is Gurpreet Singh. I'm one of the directors of Ethical Reading, and I'm delighted to have Eleanor Hill with us from the Living Wage Foundation. And she's going to be talking about the living wage, why it's good for both employees, for the staff, for businesses, and broadly for Reading as a whole. We're doing this recording separately from the actual meetup because we had some challenges with the original recording. So apologies for that. But other than that, actually, in many ways, this will be a better recording because the conditions there weren't great. So just a few words in the way of introduction to Ethical Reading. First of all, we want to give a big thanks to all our partners and supporters for enabling us to do what we do. And it's through their support, financial and otherwise, that we can put on events like this. So a huge thank you to them. A little bit about Ethical Reading. We've been going since January 2018. We are a not-for-profit social enterprise. In fact, we're a community interest company. And our purpose really is to embed ethics in the way we do business and in the workplace in Reading. So, it's a great place to live and work. Our aims are to inspire people around making better decisions, to provide the tools and resources, education, if you like, to enable them to do that, and to work with organisations like the Living Wage Foundation, Citizens UK and others to enable us to achieve our goals. We run a whole series of events around some of the programmes that we do, and collaboration is one of the core values. We can certainly do more if we all work together. In due course, we do hope that what we're doing here in Reading will provide a template for other places too. So this notion of the ethical cities movement. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over now to Eleanor to take us through the living wage and why it is important for Reading and the people and the businesses that are based here. Over to you, Ellen.
Okay, so now we're going to have a look at the business benefits of sort of implementing and accrediting as a living wage employer. So we've seen what the sort of personal benefits are for staff and their families and their well-being and their sort of livelihood. And also the benefits of society. But what is really useful tool in sort of promoting the benefits of the living wage on all fronts is that we have a wealth of evidence and research that shows that it can really benefit the sort of commercial interests of organisations as well. So I'll just go through a few of the headline ones here. So we do a survey with Cardiff Business School every few years of our employer network, which, as I said earlier, has almost 13,000 employers in it now. And we sort of, we carry out this research to establish what real material benefits the network tells us that they have experienced as a result of accrediting. So 93% of our network have benefited since accrediting, they tell us. We have 86% saying it has improved their business's reputation. We have 75% saying it has increased the motivation and retention rates for employees. And 64% saying it helps differentiate them from others in their industry, so standing out from their competitors. Something that I talk to every employer I'm sort of in conversation with at the moment about is the challenges with recruitment and retention in today's market. And our employers sort of routinely tell us that paying the living wage has improved their recruitment and retention rates and sort of reduced turnover, which can obviously save a tremendous amount of time and money. And it also helps to attract higher quality candidates and make it easier to fill vacancies, which also helps sort of, keep up a smooth running business. So, yeah, as I said, reduced training costs as well. Improved quality of work, as well as reduced sort of sickness, absence and presenteeism, and also improved relations between managers and staff, unsurprisingly. So it basically leads to a healthier, happier and more loyal workforce, and it helps attract like high quality new candidates to vacancies. And I'm hearing more and more that it's becoming sort of the movement grows, it becomes more the norm to be paying a wage that is high enough to live on, and it's becoming increasingly challenging if jobs are advertised under the living wage. So it's hopefully becoming sort of a more standard thing to do, which is fantastic. Oh, sorry, just moving to the next slide. So that's sort of the business benefits of implementing and paying the living wage and being a living wage employer. I wanted to kind of look at the specific benefits of actually accrediting and becoming part of the Living Foundation's network of employers matters, and why it's helpful to your business. So the accreditation kind of marks you out as somebody publicly committing to and being accountable for paying the living wage rates now and in the future. So you might be paying the living wage now, but it's also a case of making a commitment to your staff and to your the public or your client base, whoever you're sort of serving, that you're committed to treating your staff properly currently and also in the future as living costs rise each year. The living wage employer mark also officially certifies you as a responsible employer. So often a business will review its sort of employment practices more widely as part of their accreditation journey. And also you're becoming a living wage employer is helping build the grassroots movement, which you've seen has gained amazing momentum over the last 20 years. You're demonstrating leadership and you're encouraging other employers to get on board and sign up too. So even if you already pay everyone, all your staff the living wage, which is fantastic, it's still a really powerful way you can show leadership to others and, start conversations about what that badge means and why it's important. Even if you're giving, a lot of small businesses might have one person that is paid under the living wage, and you will be changing that one person's life by accrediting. It can enhance your business reputation and provide opportunities to connect with like-minded businesses and industry peers, and also potential new audiences and customers and clients. And there are many opportunities to go further and champion the living wage movement and other good employment practices. We have many initiatives and sort of events during the year where you can connect with others and sort of really show that leadership. So I wanted to show you a final video from one of our great advocates in our network, Britannia Anchor Removals. So this is Chris Smallwood and his staff, the business leader of Britannia Anchor. They are recorded this for, I think it was BBC News last September, after the last living wage rates were announced in living. So I'll just try and play this video.
The living wage rate went up from £9.90 to £10.90 last week. It was announced last week. We're introducing that this month. We see a value in that, and it brings out the best in our staff. It increases productivity, makes us more efficient, so we're quite happy to do that.
Me and the missus are doing weekly shops, and over the past month and a half, we've noticed how much more we're spending on things, bread, butter, milk. Basic items. It's just basic items. I mean, even hygiene items like deodorant, shower gel, shampoo. The wage rise has helped. So it means that we're not going to struggle.
Just changed our shopping habits, going around trying to find cheaper supermarkets, cheaper brands. Not always the best, but with the pay rise we can go back, have a bit more luxury. You're paying more, you're getting more loyal staff. We're eager to come into work, we're happier to come into work rather than just sit at home.
We have been fortunate to be able to pass some of the costs on to the customers, but like many other businesses, we've taken the hit ourselves in some respects as well. What we didn't realise at the time was we were actually saving money. One of the things it did was make us more productive. It cut down the absenteeism days, and if you work on the basis that each absentee day costs you £171, we made a saving in excess of £18,000 by paying the staff more.
Okay, so just a quick look at the process of becoming a living wage employer. It's very easy, and I am the sort of contact for Reading and the South East, so feel free to contact me directly if you want to just have a perfectly non-committal chat about how it works and demystify any aspects of the process and implementation, you can get in touch with me via GovBrit. So the first step is at the point of accreditation, you need to be paying all your directly employed staff the real living wage rates that are current. The second step is to have a plan in place to pay your regular contractors the real living wage. So that's anyone providing a regular service to or on behalf of your organisation, sort of via a third party supplier. And by regular, we mean for 2 or more hours a week for 8 or more consecutive weeks in a year. So that could be, for example, a cleaning service provided to your office or premises on a sort of contract basis. So you wouldn't have to have implemented the living wage across all your contracts at the point of accreditation if that wasn't possible, but you would need to provide us with a sort of a list of those contracts so that there is a sort of plan in place at that point of accreditation. And then the final step would be to just complete the sort of license agreement form, and then with that supplementary list of contracts, if that was relevant. For some people, that won't be part of the process at all because they may not have any third-party contracts. But yeah, it's just a simple 3 steps, and there is a member of the team, i.e. me, in the Southeast to help you every step of the way, and also to be your kind of relationship manager after you accredit. I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes talking about some of our other schemes and initiatives before closing. So something that we're sort of trying to build energy and momentum on in Reading is exploring the possibility of making Reading a living wage place under this scheme that we have. So it's about a sort of place-based approach to growing the living wage movement. And it's an initiative that sort of celebrates any places that range from, buildings, development zones, towns, cities, boroughs, and even sort of regions and city regions, such as Greater Manchester, London, and so on. And then within those places, there are a number of sort of anchor institutions, we call them, and sort of other local businesses who work together to grow the living wage in that place. So yeah, I would love to see Reading considering this, and we're getting some really, really great momentum going here. So watch this space, or call me and you can get involved. And then just our other work standards that we set besides the living wage. Obviously, the living wage is our kind of flagship standard, and that's the first step in anyone's journey towards implementing good work standards. But we have these other schemes and initiatives that you can accredit under. So the first is looking at sort of tackling insecure work. So we offer something called the Living Hours accreditation, which means that low paid workers who are also struggling to get the hours they need to make ends meet, this provides a sort of security of having what we call living hours alongside a real living wage. So that asks employers to set a minimum number of hours a week they offer at 16 hours a week or more. It also requires a notice period of 4 weeks for cancelling shifts. And it also asks employers to to give all their staff a contract that reflects the actual hours they work. So sort of tackling 0 hours contracts. It's still a relatively new scheme, so there's an opportunity to be, amongst the first sort of few dozen to accredit under that scheme. And also those requirements I mentioned, some of those can be a bit more, it depends on how your business works. Basically, it's always a conversation to see if there are any exceptions that need to be made to any of those requirements, the first 2 requirements. So if you're interested in exploring that, do get in touch. And we've launched a brand new accreditation scheme looking at someone's sort of after their working life. So the living pension standard, which builds on the work of the real living wage by looking to provide sort of stability and security for workers, not just now, but also in the future. As we know, auto enrolment and that sort of level of pension is not enough to maintain a sort of decent standard of living after work. The working life is finished and someone enters retirement. So That really is a brand new scheme, and it's that is a really exciting thing that you can get involved in. It's very early days and be one of the sort of pioneers of that standard. And then lastly, is a bit more of a specific accreditation scheme, which is for grant makers who are living wage employers who also are in the business of grant making to sort of commit to tackle low pay by encouraging the organisations they support and fund roles for to pay the living wage. So that's largely in sort of the third sector and public sector side of things. But again, if you're interested in exploring that, do get in touch. And that's it from me. If you would like to arrange to have a conversation or ask any questions, you can get in touch with me either on these contact details or via Ethical Reading. And thank you so much for having me.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Eleanor. That's as Ethical Reading, we're actually delighted to be part of the movement and very committed to following the living wage as it develops and grows. And we'd like to encourage as many employers as we can in and around Reading to join. It makes a huge difference to people that are struggling at this time to make ends meet. So again, thank you very much for that. I just want to just share screen or in terms of wrap up. So thank you very much for listening today. Do get involved in what we're doing at Ethical Reading with the Living Wage Foundation and broader groups like Citizens UK. We're all pushing in the same direction. We're trying to create an environment here in Reading which is a fun place to be, where people are respected, where they're fairly paid, and have a look at our website. You'll find out more information about what we do, some of our programs, things like business ethics, well-being, sustainability, ethics in education. You can see us on social media, and we also have a YouTube channel. So this recording you'll have seen on the YouTube channel. There are many more there. If you're an organisation, we'd love for you to join us as a partner. And if you're just an individual, again, you can participate as a volunteer. So thank you very much for joining today. We have many more events and hopefully you'll be able to join one of those. Thank you.